We're all like tea bags. You don't know how strong we are till you put us in hot water. I had vision but lacked financial understanding. I was so ignorant that I thought the first 1,000 sets would bring me in enough money to live off for some time. How unaware can one be? I had no idea of business expenses or cost of production. We moved out of the 60 square meter house we lived in into a village office building. The story of the lucky businessman who gets rich quickly tends to be an urban legend. Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote Blink and The Tipping Point, researched the world's greatest successes in various areas of their lives. His conclusion was that they weren't blessed by luck and had no great inborn talent or skill. What they had in common was hard work. Gladwell even came up with a new axiom that he called the 10,000 rule, which is to attain excellence at anything, you have to practice it for 10,000 hours. Well, ours was more like the 70,000 rule. Apropos the quote, here's a little grammatical joke. I think Claire would probably like this one. What do you call Santa's helpers? Subordinate clauses. Years blended into years. Nearly every year I had to bring out a new teaching set. I hadn't taken that into account either. Some sets have since been abandoned and others updated. After 12 years of working very hard to produce materials, we could still barely afford staff, the children seldom had holidays, and still wore passed-down clothes from neighbours. Don't get me wrong, they didn't feel deprived. They lived on the mountain in the Galilee with parents working near the house, and they felt a part of it. When asked, they will tell you, at least when I'm listening, that they can't imagine a better childhood. That was from them, good. But I knew we had to change the business model. We shouldn't be struggling on the brink of survival for so long. We had a gem, now it was time to let the world know. By chance, Lily Gross, an Israeli teacher, took Helen Dorron Early English to Austria when her husband went to work there. She built up the business there, she taught children, and then she organized teacher training courses and sold materials to the teachers. She was in fact our first agent. She did well during the first years she was there, and then she came up with even a new concept for me. She sold her business to another agent. That was interesting. In fact, the lady was actually one of our very first franchisees, from agent to franchisee, Sibylle Kitzweger. Franchising was born in 1997. Initially, I didn't realize I was franchising. I thought I'd created an ingenious way of marketing. But the first person to take an agreement in hand, Harold Nuremberg, told me that his lawyer said that this was franchising. I argued furiously. But I had reinvented the wheel. Franchising it was. This gave the power to advance as a group who knows what its clients need and who can bring the best products. Good God, one. It's 2010. Where are we today? We are the global leaders in English for babies and children. Yes, I have trained my competitors, but in quality and scope and student numbers, we are the leaders. I believe that we are towards the end of the beginning of our journey. But where are we going? Where are our goals? Where are our business goals? Where are our educational goals? What are our moral goals? And what do we see as our mark and effect on the future of humanity? I'm aware that the last question may sound bombastic, But I'm a true believer that every person, whether they're living alone and attending a small patch of garden and looking after one cat, to the very head of state who has a wider responsibility, every person plays a role, and that can make their little corner of the universe a better place. It's a tapestry of corners that creates a larger picture. The little boy wasn't getting good marks at school. One day he surprised the teacher. He tapped her on the shoulder and said, "I don't want to scare you, but my daddy says if I don't get better grades, someone's going to get a spanking." Teachers have great responsibility. You've already heard Rita Falter talking today. Yes, we're touching the lives of children and their families. But Rita gave us some poignant and inspiring examples. But how far does it really go? Can we quantify that influence? Please turn to your neighbours and in groups of 2, 3, 4, discuss the ideas. Write them down. After 4 minutes, you don't have much time, I'll ask some of you to put forward your ideas. From here, we'll just take 2 minutes. A couple of people will say their ideas. Put forward your best ideas. If you can't say them, as most of you will not be able to, we'll ask somebody to come round and collect them. If somebody can put together a little bag, we'll put on stage at the end of my talk, and people can put their ideas in, and we'll write them up. How can we quantify our influence? How are we influencing children and their family? What do we think about it? What's our influence? Thank you. 4 minutes. Go. Everybody sit down again, back in your places. Would somebody like to say what they've thought of? Has anybody got thoughts?
My name is Irina and I'm from Kharkiv, Ukraine. We teach the children to love the world and to respect other people, and we boost their self-esteem. We bring joy into their lives and we show them that learning is fun and you shouldn't be scared of it. We also give encyclopedic knowledge, which is important, thus educating children and parents. And we also help parents to see hidden talents of their children, and that is, I think, the most important thing.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Hello, I'm Francesca. I come from Italy, and I wanted to say something quite stupid, probably. I don't teach anything to my parents except to enjoy their children, because most of the time I see parents who are overloaded with business, with duties and responsibilities, and they forget about, enjoying their children and time they spend with them. And I do it anytime I can do it, I do it, especially in BBS. And sometimes it works. Very often it works.
Okay.
Alicia Birch from Poland. What we actually think is that we become the part of the children's family, because I remember once the child or mother coming and says, actually in few weeks you become a very important person in our family. So this is also what we give the children ourselves. We give them the values, but we also help them to break the barriers, to become more open, and definitely it is what Helen Doron gives to them.
Thank you very much. I hope that we are influencing the world's children in individual influences would be self-confidence, self-esteem, knowing another language like a mother tongue, greater brain capacity, greater tolerance, better job prospects. And we do this very largely by affecting their families as well as them. The wider influence is bilingualism, which brings biculturalism, multilingualism in some cases for children, which brings multiculturalism, and more so if the child starts early. What do you call a person who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. And a person who speaks 2 languages? This person who speaks 1 language? American. Or British, let's face it.